And now I'm cheesing my way back to you, Van, with a burning cheese inside. It's a Packers section.
Sure is. And we're going to keep on the theme here of quarterback conversation like we did in the New This Week episode. If you haven't watched it, go back and check it out. We talked about a different quarterback that was a high-profile signing this week. This one, just a quick fact I came across that I thought was interesting recently from the Packers website. Someone posted a question saying that the Bears have had 50 different starting quarterbacks since the Packers won the initial Super Bowl I. They are wondering how many different quarterbacks starters we've had since Bart Starr and how many of them were all pros. And believe it or not, it's exactly half. We've had 25 quarterbacks start at least one regular season game since winning Super Bowl #1. And we've had 2 AP all pros over that time. Can you guess who they might be?
Yes.
Would you like to take a stab at that guess?
It's Favre and Rodgers.
Yes, it's Favre and Rodgers.
Can I guess? I don't. Can I go to the bathroom? I don't know. Can you?
I hate that. My dad used to say that shit all the time. So anyways, they're talking, basically the final sentence here that the answer the Packers writers gave was, in terms of quarterbacks, it's a special position in a special place.
Isn't that sweet?
But one quarterback that appears to be getting not specially treated, it's the greatest of all time conversation, right? The GOAT conversation. Everybody likes to shit on Rodgers for only having one Super Bowl appearance, one Super Bowl ring, which, my stance on this, is completely ridiculous and asinine to judge an individual's legacy or performance or whatever else based on a team metric, right? Dan Marino does not have a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah.
You know who does have one?
Who?
Trent Dilfer.
Yeah.
So don't give me this shit, right? And people just want you to talk about, right? Oh, Brady's got 6. Yeah, well, he just fucking throws checkdowns, whatever. I don't care. The thing is, people shit all over Rodgers about this. Why hasn't Rodgers brought this team more Super Bowls? Blah, blah, blah. Which, again, he's only got command of, 10 other people besides himself. You can't do anything about the defense being worse than a wet paper towel. Someone in a similar boat here, Drew Brees. Only one Super Bowl ring. And hasn't Drew Brees been to more than one? I think he has, right? He's been to at least 2, right?
That's a very good question. I don't know the answer to that, but what I can say is,
yeah. Anyways, like this guy, Jacob Westendorf, posed the question here on Twitter. He says, it remains incredible to me that the national narrative of wasting Rodgers' career, McCarthy sucks, etc., does not apply to Brees and Sean Payton. And it was prompted from Brandon Marshall. I don't know if you remember Brandon Marshall. He's a pretty good wide receiver back in the day.
Well, there's two Brandon Marshalls out of the NFL, but yeah, I remember the one from the
Bears, Jets, whatever else. He says, you got one Super Bowl out of Aaron Rodgers. Are you kidding me? It's too late. And he was on the, you guessed it, Colin Cowherd show. And do you know my feelings on him, Cheezy?
I think you like him slightly more than Skip Bayless.
Fucking that's actually reasonable. I do like him slightly more than Skip Bayless, but liking a dumpster fire versus liking a dumpster flame, they're both shit.
It's like the difference between getting a kick in the butt and a kick in the pee-pee. You don't
want either of them. It's just one hurts a little less than the other. That's all. Anyways, I mean, what do you think about this? This is completely completely a reasonable argument that it's not fair to apply the standard to Rodgers and not Brees.
I mean, I think this comes down more to the coaching. If I'm really looking at this discussion, I start thinking about the whole orchestration of it. I mean, overall, the Packers have a better playoff performance history than the Saints in the same amount of time. It says here, the Saints 4-6 reached the NFC Championship just once, while the Packers 6-7 in the playoffs reached the conference title game 3 times. So I mean, we've got a better record in the playoffs. We've been there more But I think when you look at it, you start looking at McCarthy and all the talent we had over the years, and I think this is more about McCarthy than it is
What
about
talent we had
Rodgers.
over the years.
I mean,
We
we had
had
some.
we had an extremely solid offense in 2010, 2011, where actually I think we tied the NFL record for consecutive wins. We had like 19 consecutive wins over those 2 years, which is an NFL record. That 2011 year we went 15-1.
Yeah,
Like
I mean, it was an incredibly
it was a
talented team.
stout offense, and our defense was bend don't break. In 2011 because Rodgers is putting up 40 points a game. Who cares?
Thanks, Dom Capers.
How do you feel about him?
Love
Um,
him. My favorite.
but anyways, I mean, you can't even say Rodgers had talent around him. He had his best offense was in 2014 when he had Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb. I think James Jones was still there, and he had Eddie Lacy. Eddie
Yeah,
Lacy was good then, and
yeah.
then we know what happened in the 2014 NFC Championship game. Brandon Bostic wanted to play the hero. Anyways, I it's not like I don't know.
I mean, that to me, I think when you ask a question about Sean Payton as a coach, people you can ask anyone. You can go outside right now and ask someone about Sean Payton, and they're going to give you a stellar review of him. I think almost without exception. If you go out and do the same questioning about McCarthy, I do not think you get a blanket blessing glowing review for him. And
You
I think that
don't, but wouldn't that make you say that Aaron Rodgers gets more of a free pass?
it should, but it's just that, it's Aaron Rodgers' career seems wasted because Mike McCarthy's actions didn't seem as good, whereas it always seemed like Sean Payton was squeezing everything he could out of that team. And that's where I think this argument comes from. I don't think it makes sense. Obviously, what you just said makes more sense to me that Rodgers should get the pass, but I think that's where that discussion comes from. I think that's how that happens.
I mean, I guess if it's a conversation more of pointing the finger at the organization, but I mean, I guess who has Drew Brees had around him too? I mean, he's got Michael Thomas right now. I mean, he's had good defenses. He was really good with Jimmy Graham those couple of years.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
had a team around him.
They had
So I mean,
Jimmy Ingram,
Mark
Mark
Ingram.
Ingram.
Mm-hmm,
They had Alvin Kamara. They had
mm-hmm,
Darren Sproles there for a while. I
mm-hmm.
mean, they've had some names there while he's been
Yeah,
there.
and that's why I say I don't know why Rodgers doesn't get the pass on this. It's more impressive what he's done, despite inept coaching and a lack of a defense. But I guess if this argument is that it's the organization's fault, then yeah, I guess that makes sense that you're. I guess that, but doesn't that then put it solidify that Rodgers is better than Breeze? If Peyton is pushing everything out of this team he can, and Rodgers has still had more success than Breeze in terms of playoff appearances, NFC Championship games, all that. Doesn't that mean that Rodgers is better? Doesn't that solidify the argument that Rodgers is better?
I mean, you don't have to twist my arm to convince me that Rodgers is better than Breeze, but I mean,
Not
I
that's and
I think so.
that's not to say that Breeze isn't stellar because
No, he's
Drew
good.
Brees
He's
is a
really
stellar
good,
quarterback.
really good. But you know, I I think that's the argument to be made. If there's a reason why I think that sentiment exists, I think that's it.
Here's what I want. I want to hear from the listeners, all four of you. I want to hear what your thoughts are on it because I think it's an interesting debate.
It is. So hit us up,
Did I
and
did I get you with the all four again? Is that what I got you with?
hit us up, all four of you, and we'll catch you next time.
No, one more thing.
No,
Devontae Adams, go search it. Devontae Adams, 360 dunk. Go look it up, everybody.
look it up,
Incredible
and we'll catch you
athlete.
next time.